Bitcoin, is it time to go? All new highs. Taking a look at the chart today. We're looking at the weekly chart. And what is the weekly chart telling us, people? What is going on? Gonna break it down here in this video, looking at Bitcoin, what the news is. We're about to finish this weekly candle here pretty soon. It's Sunday. We got action. Bitcoin back up to the $19,000 area after crashing down to $17,000. Taking a look at it, talking about it, breaking it down for you guys right here in this video. So let's go. All right. What's going on, guys? Patrick here, and today we're talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin. I don't know why I say that every time I make a video about Bitcoin, but I feel like it's just like you got to be like Bitcoin. Looking at the weekly chart here. Now, obviously, there's multiple different time frames to look at when you're looking at any type of stock or cryptocurrency or futures or whatever you're looking at. There's different time frames. And well, looking at the weekly chart here, this looks crazy, right? It looks madness because number one, we've got green for multiple weeks. Just green. We had this little bit of indecision here, some volatility there. The next candle, big green candle there. And guess what? Guess what we got going on right now? Look at the wick on the bottom of this candle. Today's Sunday, obviously, so if this can push above 19,500, that's going to turn green. And if that happens, I think we could be off to the races here. We could really be off to the races. Hey, it's Christmas time, and I want to give away some presents to my followers, my subscribers here on YouTube. So I'm going to pick 3 people in the comments below to give $100 worth of Bitcoin to. Leave a comment down below predicting what do you think the price of Bitcoin is going to be on Christmas Day, and then also leave your Bitcoin wallet. So if I will be able to go and read all the comments on Christmas Day because I had nothing else to do and I'm a loser like that, I'll be on YouTube reading comments on Christmas Day. But in general, I'm going to send 3 subscribers $100 worth of Bitcoin. So leave your Bitcoin address down below and tell me your Bitcoin price prediction, and hopefully 3 of my subscribers will be very close to that price of Bitcoin on Christmas Day of 2020. So free money. All you gotta do is comment below. Who wouldn't want to do it? Also, make sure you subscribe, because if you're not subscribed, you're definitely not getting $100. So let's get back to the video. And right now, we're literally, look at this. We're trading at 19,300 right now. On the 5-minute chart, we pushed up there multiple times to that 19,400, kind of basing out right now, 19,200 there. This is the 5-minute chart. So this is, daily kind of what the action's going on right now. But look at 15-minute chart, a little bit better there. Pushing up there to that 19,400 area and having a little bit of trouble right now. But again, looking really tight right now, and looking like she wants to go here. Now, if you zoom out here and we go back to the daily chart, you can see that sell-off recently. The EMA, I love Bitcoin because I like the idea of this EMA, because we know one thing, that this EMA really has played a role in general. Pretty much every time Bitcoin gets overextended or gets oversold, guess what happens? Basically, every single time Bitcoin pulls back to that EMA. So one thing that I know here is, even if this thing goes to the moon from here, even if it goes, let's say Bitcoin breaks out, like similar to like 2017. Let's say Bitcoin breaks out like from here. Like from here, and it went from 3,000 up there to 20,000. Well, it still pulled back. It pulled back to that EMA even after that big monster move, and obviously sold off back from there. But obviously now, again, look how far we are from that EMA here. We're about, $8,000 from that EMA right now. Does that mean that Bitcoin's going to pull back to that EMA tomorrow or today or a week from now? We really have no idea. Obviously, this could go to $50,000 before pulling back. It really could. And that's not me just being, optimistic here. It's just the way it is. It's kind of like, if you sit around and you wait for Bitcoin to pull back to the EMA here, is it going to happen? It probably will happen in the future. I would bet money on it, and I guess I am kind of betting money on it, because personally, I'm not really loading up on any more Bitcoin until we get that pullback to the EMA, and I'm totally fine. I'll wait a year. I'll wait 6 months. I'll wait 3 months. I'll wait 5 months. I'll wait a week. Whatever it is, I've already got my position. I've already got enough Bitcoin that if it does go to $50,000, obviously I'm going to make money. But I don't see any point at this point. I don't see any point for me to add on risk or add on capital to this tool, to this vehicle being Bitcoin. There's no point in me adding to my position because I know one thing, looking at the chart, going way back. Every single time Bitcoin has had a crazy move to the upside, it has pulled back. All right. And I don't care what you say. I don't care if you say, oh, well, this time's different. The world's different. Everything's different. Yes. Can Bitcoin go higher from here? Yes. Is there a chance Bitcoin goes to $1 million this year? I wouldn't say yes or no to that one. But in general, I'm going to wait for one very clear indicator. But in general, I'm going to wait for one very clear indicator. And that's the idea of Bitcoin pulling back. Now, if it doesn't pull, for me, if this pulls back $14,000, $13,000 area, let's say it doesn't touch exactly on the EMA, kind of like this it did, back in 17, where it was kind of like ding, ding, not getting right to the EMA, but getting very close, then at that point I might look to add a little bit more. But in general, I don't need to go out and load up right now because I know one thing for sure, and that's, like I said, that EMA is always there. Now, looking at the structure right now on the daily chart, you see that pullback. It pulled back to the 16,400 area and then rallied back up there, trying to retest that high, that $20,000 high, the all-time high base. I think we did break through all-time high there, but in general, it didn't, kind of pulled back. But guess what we got going on right now, my friends? Guess what we got going on? We got this trend. We got this breakout looking very breakout-y, right? This is looking very, if you want to draw lines in here, this is looking very breakout-y. Like it's time to make a move, right? And like I said, I'm totally fine with the position that I have right now. I think it's a good core position. Can I add to that? Sure. But like I said, I don't really see any point in me adding to this when I was adding, and I was buying it back here in March when I told everyone on YouTube I was buying. Everyone said I was an idiot. Well, I don't really see a reason for me to be like, hey, now it's time to buy some more because I've got a good position in general. But like I said, that EMA, very important to watch. But right now, look at that daily chart. That candle. Those daily candles. We got a lot of wicks on the bottom of these three candles. Wicks on those three candles, indicating that the buyers are stepping in there. Wicks on that pullback. Wicks. Lots of wicks on the bottom of these candles. Really not a lot of wicks on the tops of these daily candles inside of this formation. You can see the tops of these candles. Really not massive wicks. So that's telling me one thing, people. It's telling me that the buyers, when we get these pullbacks, are stepping in there and they're pushing the price back up when those dips do occur. We saw news today that I saw some news today that a fund just invested $100 million in Bitcoin at these levels. So obviously, they know something that I guess I don't know, because I don't know if I would be investing $100 million in Bitcoin right now. I obviously would have loved to have invested $100 million worth of Bitcoin back when it was $3,000 to $4,000 when I posted about it on the channel. That would have been beautiful. If anyone has an extra $100 million laying around and you want to put that capital to work, give me a call and we'll look for that next opportunity, the next buying opportunity. But right now, I think there's still, I want to make it very clear that there's a chance that Bitcoin, obviously, there's always a chance it goes higher. But even if Bitcoin goes higher from here, I still see a pullback coming in the future. We've seen very similar moves before. We've seen these tight moves. Bitcoin breaks to the upside, and then, it gets this kind of parabolic move going. And at some point, it's got to return to the normal. You get all this hype right now. Everyone's buy. There's going to come a time where it's going to go, hey, it's going to sell off. And it's going to happen. It's just the way it is. I tell people with Bitcoin, if you are going to invest in Bitcoin, look at it as like, hey, if I buy today and it crashes tomorrow, you better be okay with holding it through that. It's like the people who bought here at the $19,000 area the other day, when it crashed to 17, they ended up dumping. They ended up getting out. You can obviously see all that selling coming in there from the 18,000 area down there to 16,200. And then guess what? It's like right back up there. So have a plan, stick to the plan, no matter what happens really with the price action. Like I said, I've got my plan. My plan is very simple. I've already got my position. I'm ready for whatever outcome to come from here. If this goes to 50,000, totally fine with that. I'm happy. I'll jump for joy. But, if it doesn't, if it pulls back and we get a pullback to the $13,000 area, I would also love that as well. in general, we know, like I said, we know one thing, that EMA, it's going to get touched at some point. I'm telling you right now, it's going to get touched. You can see back here in May of 2019, we went from 7,000 up there to 13,000, and it looked like, oh, this is the time, we're going to go to the moon now. It's going to happen. Well, and then we pulled back. I only had a nice pullback there. I still think, I just think that, if you look, for me, this is how I value Bitcoin. I look at the price action. The price action to the upside really means nothing to me long term. What matters to me, if I'm looking at this, right? Like if I'm like, hey, I really want to look at this. Let's look at the weekly chart. The higher lows for me is what matters. That's what I'm focused on. You can see back there in 2015, we had a high. This is 2013. 2013, Bitcoin hit $1,000, and then it pulled back to what? The low $150. So imagine buying Bitcoin at $150. Oh my gosh. I'd be rich right now. I'd be real rich. But in general, I'm just saying, same thing has happened multiple times. We've had these huge parabolic moves, and then we get the pullback. We had the huge parabolic move. And then we have the pullback. Obviously, no one knows exactly where the bottom is going to be. But in general, you look at it like this. $200 being the low in 2015. $3,000 being the low in 2019. And then again, we got that test. I really think that this little crash right here doesn't really, I guess it's, obviously it happened. It's history. But in general, I wouldn't look at this and be like, oh, this is, a part of the overall price action in the chart, because I think it really was like this unicorn, black swan event with the pandemic, and, the stock market was crashing. There was just a lot of fear, really. I think that's what it was. There was a lot of fear, and, I don't really think we would have dipped that low without. I don't think we would have dipped that low if, we had a normal market structure. Like if we had normal market conditions, I guess is the way to put it. I don't think we would have dipped that low to the, $3,000 area if we would have had normal kind of just overall market. I think that $6,000 area would have been kind of a better, or would have been the spot that we would have bounced, because we've kind of had a little bit of support there. So the way I look at it is like $3,000 for 2019. And kind of like $6,000 being that higher low. So we've got multiple higher lows. Obviously we've got lots of higher lows here. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. The ups mean nothing. Like I said, the price action to the upside, if you're a long-term investor, really means nothing. It's the importance of looking at those higher lows, because that's telling me one thing. It's telling me one bigger picture thing, that in general, since 2013, since 2012, obviously, Bitcoin has been making these higher lows. Yes, Bitcoin has rallied, and then it's crashed back down. Bitcoin has rallied, and then it's crashed back down. Bitcoin has rallied, and well, it could possibly crash back down from here, right? Again, like I said, this thing, if it breaks, so let's look at this. If this breaks, the open of that candle was 19,385. The high was 19,431, and currently we're trading, right there. So basically, if this can just push to like 19,400 and close above 19,400, it's going to be a green candle, and I think it's really setting up to be a big break to the upside here on the weekly chart. Like I said, I'm totally fine with that pullback. I'm fine with that. I'm focused on one thing long term, those higher lows. That's my investment strategy with Bitcoin. I'm not chasing the breakouts. I'm not chasing the moon. I'm chasing those higher lows. I want to get those higher lows. And I think realistically, 9,000, 8,000, 10,000, 11,000 is a very realistic next kind of higher low. Even if Bitcoin goes to $50,000, we know one thing, that Bitcoin goes up, 100, 200%, and then it crashes down 80%. Well, actually, it goes up like 1,000%. It goes from like $200 to 20,000, does 1,000% move, and then it crashes back down, 60%, 80%, or whatever the stats are on that. I made a video about that in the past as well. So it's not a new theory by any means. It's a very, very, popular. It's not even a theory. It's just the way that Bitcoin trades. So there it is. Bitcoin's setting up for a breakout here, but again, like I said, I'm not chasing this breakout. I'm totally fine with letting it do its thing and then kind of just waiting for that next big crash. It might not come, this year, the next week. It might not come in 2021. 2021, Bitcoin could just keep going higher and higher forever. It could happen. But I know one thing, that even when Bitcoin goes to the moon, it still pulls back. It's got to make that next higher low. And like I said, I don't think that $3,000 area was like a real higher low. I think it was just the overall kind of world, the pandemic and all that happening, that really kind of caused that just massive sell-off. I think that $6,000 area would have kind of been our higher low for 2020 if we had normal kind of market structure there. Right now, we are right at that all-time high again. That all-time high back there in 2017, the high was 19,600. Have we pushed above that yet? Yeah, so the high recently was 19,900. So we pushed above that all-time high. We are right there again at that all-time high area, looking for a breakout here. What's going to happen? We'll see. It's Sunday. If you guys haven't already, do me one big favor. Hit that like button, subscribe button, all the buttons down below. I will talk to you guys later. What do you think? Bitcoin going to the moon? Bitcoin crashing back down from here? Let's go.